Wherever the world, and we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Reports as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubon Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday 10 a.m. to 12 noon, exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
Still watching the Afia Business Morning. This is the Eastern Business Report, which is designed to bring you up to speed on business activities and policies affecting businesses and the economy of the Southeastern region of Nigeria. It usually comes after global business, but today's edition, it comes right after the opening bell. And on today's edition of the Eastern Business Report, we will be looking at the hospitality industry in Enugu State. A special reference to the landmark effect. My name is Ubon Kings. Welcome to the Eastern Business Report. Just before the break, I did say we are on today's edition of the Eastern Business Report. We'll be looking at the hospitality industry in Enugu State, a special reference to the landmark effect. Now, this is in relation to the groundbreaking Enugu Landmark Partnership and all the different dynamics to this. The question really is, how would it be very beneficial for Ndi Enugu in the long run? And joining me on this conversation is none other than Paul Wanibe, who is a founder, CEO, Landmark Africa Group, who joins us live this morning. Good morning, Paul. Welcome.
Thank you for having me on your show.
It's a pleasure having you on the show this morning. And quite a number of conversations have erupted with reference to the landmark, effect in Enugu State. I mean, the other day I was opportune to see a report. Someone was saying he was really excited. He almost could jump out of his skin because he was excited that Landmark was doing a lot of things in Enugu State. But before we get into all of that, let's talk about Landmark in a bit, right? Share with us the Landmark story. Let's start there before we move into what Landmark is really doing in Enugu State.
All right, great. So briefly, Landmark is a 27-year-old company. I founded it in the UK, in London, in the UK in 1997, having just finished my stint at Regis. And over the next sort of 5 years, spread it across a number of 7 different European cities, and went into America and New York. In 2001, there was a World Trade Center disaster in New York. We were severely affected, and at that time, Africa was becoming a different place. So we thought it was ready for a business like ours. Came into Africa, brought Landmark into Africa in 2003, into Lagos in 2006, and over the from a service office brand to a property brand to a destination platform. In 2015. We sold our Africa business and focused on Nigeria and in Lagos. So it's been quite a journey. We've operated over 17 different locations in 4 different continents over the last 28 odd years. So it's been fun. So that's Landmark for you. Following what happened to part of our leisure facilities with the coastal road, we decided to do a diversification strategy. And over the next few years, we intend to go back and spread across Africa, West Africa again. And Enugu obviously was one of our first choices in terms of location for many reasons. I'm sure we'll come to that.
Okay, yeah, I like the way you put it. We'll come to that because definitely we'll come to that. Now, you already took our time to talk about the scope of Landmark's operations and all of that. And would you say if someone is watching this for the very first time and wondering, okay, what is Landmark really about? Is it just a property development company or it transcends everything else? What would you say?
So I'm not sure I got the question.
Okay, let me repeat myself, right? I mean, someone's watching and he's heard you say you've had different locations of the company in different places, and the question that comes to his mind or her mind will be, okay, what is Landmark really about? Is it property development or something else and everything else in between?
No, good question. So it started as a property development company. Well, we describe ourselves as a platform developer. So we are a business, leisure, and lifestyle developer. So what we try to do, we try to develop platforms as destinations. So people can come. Landmark has literally a simple strategy. Bring as many people in as possible. Give them some amazing experiences. Make sure they have a really great time and tell other people about us. So our currency is people, what's traditionally called footfall. The more people who come here and the longer they stay in any Landmark location, the more successful we are.
I like the way you put that. The longer they stay, the more successful you are. Okay, let's talk about, we already talked about this in passing. You mentioned it anyway. The choice of Enugu, really. Okay, so let's talk about that. I mean, you say you have a location, there's Lagos, and now you're talking about Enugu. What informed this decision? What was the driving force? What was the guiding principle, if you like, of choosing Enugu State?
So I'm going to be brutally honest here, right?
Brutally, okay.
It's a mixture of, yeah. Excuse me. It's a mixture of commercial and emotional decisions. So commercially, Enugu doesn't need to be introduced to anyone, right? It was more or less the capital of the Eastern region. I went. It was the capital of the Eastern region. It's got lovely terrain. I've gone on record saying that Frederick Forsyth described it as the most beautiful city on earth. Just so those that don't know, Enugu is incredibly attractive, not just locally, regionally, but also internationally. And its location and number of people, it just has under 5 million people as a state, as a city, just under 1 million people. It's got good network, and the governance there is strong. And the city and the government are very, very, very obsessed with creating an enabling environment for businesses and a tourism platform. So that's the commercial reason. The emotional reason are two things. I went to university in Enugu. I went to University of Nigeria, Enugu campus, and Nike Lake was just starting when I was leaving university. And at the time, I felt it was probably the best holiday resort in West Africa, if not further in the region. Secondly, I married my wife from Enugu. So Enugu is a place that's very dear to my heart too, for both those reasons.
Okay, all right, great. We've seen the commercial, we've also got the emotional attachment to Enugu State. Great. Now, let's talk numbers, right? Because for every business decision, there's always a part of numbers, right? Either it is the numbers with reference to how much money you're making or how much lives you're impacting, how many jobs you're creating, and all of that. Let's talk numbers. What is your anticipated, as it were, roughly anticipated employment quota when it comes to this project coming to Enugu State? What are you anticipating?
Okay, I'm glad you put it like that, because we look at impact in three ways. Remember I said our currency is footfall. So we look at impact in number of visitors, number of people employed, number of new businesses created, and the impact down the supply chain. So let me answer straightforward your question, and I'll use a little bit of an analogy. So in Lagos, we created about 4,000 jobs directly, and indirectly, probably about 16 to 20,000. In Enugu, we expect to create something in the region of 5,000 jobs directly, about 4 times that indirectly. But most importantly, from a supply chain basis, we expect to create probably between 150 to 200,000 jobs locally in the supply chain. We believe we're obsessed with trying to create impact, by the way, because we feel the bigger the impact, the more successful we will be. So 80% of the jobs and the SMEs will be locally sourced. So the second aspect of people and jobs is SMEs. So as we probably know that small, medium enterprises are the drivers of any economy. The more they are and the more successful they are, the more that local economy succeeds. Because of the nature of what we do and how we provide the platform for SMEs to trade at their very best, we're almost like an SME incubator and aggregator. So in Lagos, we created 150 SMEs per year over that period. And some of these businesses that started with nothing, were producing revenues in excess of 10 million naira a month. And we're talking about one-man businesses, someone frying chicken, someone selling ice, someone doing ice cream for the kids. So because of the footfall element, so we believe Enugu, especially Nike Lake Resort, as a destination, and with the things we intend to do there, we believe we'll create upwards of 5,000 jobs directly. And we will create at least between 150 to 200 small and medium-sized enterprises, which will employ their own people, which is why I feel indirectly we'll create over 20,000 jobs. The supply chain, whether it's people for every piece of chicken that's bought, every Coca-Cola that's drank, every ice that's used, every cup that's used, is a local supply chain. And we believe many multiples of jobs will be created through that supply chain as well.
Okay, good point there. But a concern that had been raised by quite a number of persons has been whether or not, you did say, I had to jot that down, you did say that 80% of jobs will be locally sourced. Now, one of the questions that comes to mind is this manpower you're seeking. I don't wish to write down the zone or the state, but you sure we can have all those adequate skills and requisite experience needed found here in Enugu State?
Probably not at the outset. And I'll tell you a very short story. About 8 years ago, when we were trying to step up our leisure and hospitality business, it was obvious that we couldn't find the resources that we needed. I chartered 2 jets, got a holiday resort in Dubai, and took my entire team for 10 days to Dubai and immersed them in what we were trying to do. Brought them back, and it made a huge difference. In addition to that, we've signed up with an international hospitality school based in Lausanne, Switzerland. And we've created course packages and training packages to ensure that from a leisure, hospitality, tourism, and lifestyle perspective, we're well equipped to provide those, and we can equip all the people. So it's going to be a burn. It's going to be a slow burn, but I believe over 1 to 5 years, we will be able to source, train, educate, immerse at least 3,000 to 4,000 people, local people in Enugu, to provide these services.
Okay, I think that's a good way to go. But we'll take a short break at the moment, take a breather. When we come back, I'll find out from you what your thoughts are with reference to the tourism potential of this project in Enugu State, amongst other things, after this timeout. So stay tuned. The program, These and Business Reports, returns in a bit. Joining us is still the Eastern Business Report right here on the Afia Business Morning, and I'm still playing host to Paul Nwanibe, who is the founder and CEO of Landmark Africa Group. And we've been talking about the landmark effect, with special reference to the hospitality industry in Enugu State. And yeah, let's get back to him. Mr. Paul, are you there? All right, great. Let's get into this conversation real quickly. Let's talk about what are your thoughts. What are your thoughts with reference to Enugu's tourism potential, with special reference with the advent of your project here in Enugu State? What are your thoughts, really?
So I judge tourism potential on a number of things. So let me perhaps highlight the first three. The first is the enabling environment provided by the government, and I am absolutely convinced that His Excellency Dr. Peter Mba is obsessed with creating a tourism platform. I know how long it took to do this and the sort of questions that were asked. So I know that that's serious. So the enabling environment is one thing. The second thing about tourism is just the logistics, the reach. It's whatever you do, you need to put it in a place that is safe. So from a security perspective, looks beautiful and has access to several regions. So Enugu ticks those three boxes. And the third thing is the actual site you do it on. Nike Lake was chosen for obvious reasons, not just because it's idyllic and historic, but it just offers an immense potential to do so many things in one place and provide the sort of platform that we used to provide to create a business, leisure, and lifestyle destination.
Great. Now let's talk about some few other things just before our time is up, because already time is running real fast. Now, the question that really comes to mind is this a PPP or an outright takeover of the Nike Lake Resort?
So it's a combination. So under the sort of public-private sector partnership, we've taken on a long-term lease at what effectively is a commercial rate. So we're paying for that. But it's long enough for us to make an incredibly large investment to not only curate what we want to do, but also revamp, rebuild, build new things, provide new adventures, and operate it. At the end of the lease, we return it to the state government in a thriving and viable state.
Okay.
But the lease is many decades. So it gives us the chance to invest real resources into it.
Okay, great. So what is the anticipated transformation that we should look forward to when it comes to the Nike Lake, as it were, Lake Resort? Because, okay, let's put it like this. When you order something online, you say what you ordered versus what you got. So in this case scenario, what's on ground and what are we expecting?
All right. So what's on the ground now? I mean, it's a fairly tired place. It requires quite a lot of work. I have a whole team of people that have been there for the last few weeks, going through sort of the discovery and handover process. And hopefully that will take place over the next 2 to 3 months. Over the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to have to, need a lot of TLC. We're going to have to revamp the grounds, renovate the actual hotel, add new experiences and adventure. So we're going to do everything from sports to, world-class kids clubs, to a water park, a concert area, and a whole series of leisure and entertainment facilities across the site, in addition to the new hotel. So we're likely to build another smaller spec hotel on the same site whilst revamping the new site. So we estimate that expenditure is going to be in the region of 10 billion naira. In the short term, and obviously in the long term, we'll do whatever is required to make it a world-class facility. Okay.
I think that's a good place to leave this conversation. Thank you so much, Paul, for joining me this morning on the Eastern Business Report. It's been a pleasure hosting you. Thank you.
The pleasure has been entirely mine. Thank you.
All right, very well. Then in case you're just joining in, I've been playing host to Paul Nwanibe, who is the founder and CEO of Landmark Africa Group, and we've been talking about, hospitality in Enugu State, the landmark effect. And you can be part of this conversation by going to our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/Afia Business. And while you're there, do well to hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications and all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. Up next is Global Business. My name is Ubong Kings. Stay tuned.
The Afia Business Morning. Join me every weekday on the Afia Business Morning as we bring to you a trilogy of business segments. The opening bell where we see activities from our selected stock exchanges. The global business where we bring you up to speed on business activities making the rounds all over the world. And we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Reports as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubon Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
Thank you for rejoining me on the Afia Business Morning. Welcome to Global Business. And here we'll be taking a look at business news stories around the continent of Africa and indeed the rest of the world. My name is Ubon Kings. Here are the headlines that we are tracking at the moment. Starting off with business news stories from Africa. It's reported that Ghana is eyeing $1 billion worth of revenue from cannabis. Anyway, from that, from food waste, I beg your pardon, to fuel, UAE company uses flies to create power. Anyway, from that to the aerospace, world of aerospace, EasyJet's losses ease. As reported that the airline sees gain in year-end passenger numbers. We'll bring you details of the stories and more after this time out. Stay tuned. You're watching Global Business on the Afia Business Morning. We begin with business stories from Africa, where it's reported that Ghana's administrators have identified an unusual but potentially profitable addition to its economic sector, the selling of cannabis, where according to the Chamber of Cannabis Industry CEO Mark Darko, the sale of cannabis, a product expected to make around $21.04 billion in 2025 globally, could potentially generate up to $1 billion in revenue for the West African country. Mark Darko relayed that this can be achieved only with the intervention of the government. At the opening of the Chamber of Cannabis Training Center in Accra, which will train farmers how to cultivate and process cannabis. Now, following the adoption of the Narcotics Control Commission Bill 2023, which authorizes the growing of cannabis for industrial uses, the CEO stated that Ghana must utilize its cannabis resources for both therapeutic and industrial purposes. He further urged the government to impose taxes and levies for cannabis growing permits as soon as possible in order to encourage investment in the industry. Now, quickly, before you, the story just brings a number of things to the fore. First, before you conclude in your head that this is just wrong, it may interest you to know that according to the story, cannabis has been adopted, so to speak, by the Narcotics Control Commission Bill of Ghana 2023, just so you know, right? Now, this bill in question authorizes the growing of cannabis for industrial uses, basically, therapeutic and, of course, industrial uses. Now, emphasis is really on the growing of this crop for industrial uses. Now, let's look at some figures, right? Story says that it's estimated that the sale of cannabis around the world is expected to make around $21.04 billion in 2025 globally. And then Ghana, on the other hand, could potentially generate up to $1 billion in revenue for the West African country. Now, all of this, according to the story, can be achieved only with the intervention of government. Yeah, key point. Because from the story, it clearly stated that the government also benefit by giving out licenses, permits to these farmers to go ahead and do this, right? And then they pay taxes as well. See, government is making money, people making money. Anyway, another point of emphasis is that there already is in existence, as it were, the Chamber of Cannabis Training Center in Accra. It's a thing, which is designed to train farmers how to cultivate and process the crop. Now, that's some form of deliberateness if you ask me, but the thing is, I only hope that the purpose for which the said cultivation and processing of the crop it will be achieved and not abused and or modified for a different use. Fingers crossed, and we'll see how this story pans out eventually. Moving on to other business news stories, and this time from Southern Africa. It's reported that French energy giant Total Energies has further put off its approximately $20 billion liquefied natural gas LNG project in Mozambique, which was initiated in 2019 following ongoing political uncertainty and escalating security issues, and is expected to start production in 2029. Now, the company was compelled to declare force majeure back in 2021 following insurgent attacks in Mozambique's Cabo Delgado province, as the attacks took place close to a Total Energies site, which was expected to be used to convert gas into liquid. Although Total Energies planned to resume the project by the end of last year, the plans were delayed following increased violence and unrest after the October presidential election, the result of which remains heavily contested. Now, from this story, this is pretty justified, if you ask me, as this clearly shows the clear-cut relationship between economic growth and security. Now, the story does have it that French energy giant Total Energies has further put off its approximately $20 billion liquefied natural gas project in Mozambique. Now, this project was actually started in 2019. It was supposed to get started last year, but no, it hasn't. Now, Total Energy is putting off, so to speak, is that project. The reason is the ongoing political uncertainty, escalating security issues in the country. However, the good part is that this is not a complete or outright cancellation of the project. It is just pretty much a deferment. It is also estimated that production would commence in 2029. Hopefully by then, all the tension would have been doused, all the unrest would have, gone somewhere else, or maybe completely gone, and then business can resume. But then, recall that in 2021, the company was compelled to declare force majeure following insurgent attacks. Now, we'll come to what that force majeure means. This was because of insurgent attacks in Mozambique's Cabo Delgado province, as the attacks took place close to a Total Energies site, which was expected to convert, gas into liquid, right? So that was a very huge thing for the company because, number one, how would they be able to go to work when there's unrest, right? Meanwhile, for sake of emphasis, force majeure is defined as unforeseeable circumstances that prevent someone, or a company in this case scenario, from fulfilling a contract. And that's pretty much what it was with Total Energies and all of that drama and pushing all of that to 2029. Fingers crossed. We'll see how this goes, whether or not they'll bring back that time to maybe 2026 or even maybe later 2025. I don't know. We'll find out eventually. You're still watching Global Business on the Afia Business Morning right here on Afia TV. If you want to join in on the conversation on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel, kindly tap in the search bar www.youtube.com/Afia Business. And while you're there, do hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. Up next, will be more business news stories from the world of aerospace and other sectors of the economy. Stay with us. The program returns in a bit.
Afia Business Morning. Join me every weekday on the Afia Business Morning as we bring to you a trilogy of business segments. The opening bell where we see activities from our select stock exchanges. The global business where we bring you up to speed on business activities making the rounds all over the world. And we bring the conversation home on the segment Eastern Business Reports as we discuss business activities and issues bedeviling businesses in the Southeast region. My name is Ubon Kings. Join the Afia Business Morning every weekday 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Exclusive to Afia TV on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17. The Afia Business Morning. Business unusual.
You're welcome back to the Afia Business Morning, and you are watching Global Business. Down to the rest of our stories. And now we're moving to the world of aerospace, where it's reported that UK budget airline EasyJet has reported a first quarter headline loss before tax of £61 million for the first quarter of the financial year 2025 to the year ended 31 December 2024, as the airline says it has succeeded in narrowing headline pre-tax losses through cost-cutting measures and a rise in demand for package holidays. Meanwhile, the loss is less than £65 million seen in the same period in 2023, as they saw a passenger growth of 7% on an annual basis during the quarter, with EasyJet's holiday recording a profit of £43 million, an increase of £12 million from the same period the previous year. However, first quarter's improvement was not only due to robust demand for the company's package holidays, but also its primary airport network and better fuel prices contributed to a smaller headline loss before tax as well. Now, if you ask me, guys, I would say that this would be a form of a breath of fresh air for EasyJet. Yes, one may argue that, well, they have not really made so much profit or made profit at all. But from the story, the airline has succeeded, as it were, in narrowing headline pre-tax losses through cost-cutting measures and a rise in demand for their package holidays. Now, worthy of emphasis in this story is the fact that the loss recorded is less, as it were, than the £65 million seen in the same period in 2023, right? Now, this is because they saw a passenger growth of at least 7% on an annual basis during the quarter, and their EasyJet holidays recording a profit of £43 million, which is an increase, as it were, of £12 million from the same period previous year. Now, well, all of this so-called improvement was not only due to robust demand for the company package holidays, but also its primary airport network and better fuel prices contributed to a smaller headline loss before tax as well. And I could just say congratulations are in order, and we hope that they can build on this in the coming months and make more progress as the year unfolds. And moving on from that to other stories making the rounds, and this time around we move into some very interesting, bizarre story, if you may like. Still from the business world, and in an attempt to end this bulletin, let's tell you that Sika Biotech, a United Arab Emirates-based company, is breeding thousands of black soldier flies, which according to them could help tackle a global environmental problem and convert food waste into biofuel and alternative protein using black soldier flies. Now, it may interest you to know, the story also says that food waste are hereby processed and fed to the black soldier flies, which increase their size before they are roasted and put through a machine in order to extract biofuel from them. Meanwhile, the company also harvests more of the flies' eggs to breed more of the black soldier flies in order to keep the cycle going. Anyway, this is, let's put it like this. Before you even say this is weird, and abnormal. Let me shock you. According to the company, this process of recycling basically helps to recycle and reduce food waste, as well as creating an alternative and, underline this, sustainable source of power. Anyway, Reuters took the time to investigate this matter and shares with us the huge transformation that is from food waste to fuel, telling us how UAE company is using flies to create power. Let's take a look.
It's a beneficial insect that eats enormous quantity of waste.
It's all part of a process engineered by Circa Biotech, based in the United Arab Emirates. The company is breeding thousands of black soldier flies, which they say could help tackle a global environmental problem. Here's how it works. Workers bring in food waste to Circa Biotech's warehouse in the Al Ain Desert. That food waste is processed and fed to the black soldier flies.
So 5 days later, they grow to this size. And you see almost half of the food is gone.
The insects are then roasted and put through a machine to extract biofuel from them. This is Circa Biotech co-founder Haytham Riahi.
In 10 days, they grow 500 times their initial weight. They eat all the food waste that we give them. After, we harvest them and we extract protein and oil.
Riahi says the protein they extract is used for animal feed, and from the oil, they produce sustainable aviation fuel. The company also harvests the flies' eggs to breed more of them, meaning the cycle can continue.
Here, as you can see, are the eggs that they laid. Okay, so we recover them in those wood stacks, and this is what will be hatching. So what will be hatching out of these eggs are small larvae.
Riahi says the process helps to recycle and reduce food waste, as well as creating an alternative and sustainable source of power.
Food waste is not a UAE problem, it's a global problem. Just to know, 1/3 of the food produced globally is wasted.
Oh, well, there you've seen the report yourself, so you may want to follow up with this story as well as other stories, and go to our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/Afia Business. While you're there, do all the hit the like button. Remember, you should subscribe so you get notifications on all business-related content coming to you from Afia TV. Right down here, you see all of that. Anyway, moving away from this, and coming up next will be Onye Afia. And that's the size of the package right here on the Global Business. My name is Ubong Kings. Thank you for your time and stay tuned.
week and another opportunity for us to gist and me to tell you, bring all the spice, all the things that are hot, trending, and exclusive on social media. Sometimes I know there's constructive criticism. I know that you know how to quote it. So for the people that don't understand, I want to be like, oh, why are you doing this?
Please, I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm only doing this because of the money on Facebook.
There are some people you need to just tell the truth brutally. Let it hurt them. Give it hot.
Afia TV official, exclusive every weekday on Afia TV.
Time check, it's 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV.
So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social, it's all about the latest trends, it's about what's lit, it's all about the games with our guests, and yes, in general, I like to say it's all about the vibes and vibes only.
Welcome to Afia TV, your go-to channel for excellent news and incredible shows that keeps you IEI, that is, informed, entertained, and inspired.
Hello, what's up, Afia? Welcome to the Afia podcast. My name is Harchelo, and here we talk about trade and the lifestyle of a hustler. Whether you're a hustler for streets or for office, we're there for you. In fact, today we are taking it to the office. We have an interesting person. He's interesting because he makes businesses interesting. That's his job, right? Jeremy,
My boss.
welcome to Afia.
Thank you, boss. Thank you so much.
You are the branding guy. The guy, you
Well, that's a mouthful, but yeah,
okay?
Thank you.
Yes. So tell us about branding. Start from here and take us here to infinity and beyond. What is a brand?
A brand is the character that you want to give to a business. So the same way people have the angry birds, the angry ones, the shy ones, the ones that get to apologize easily, the proud ones. People have different characters. So when you try to attach a character, a personality to a business, that's what makes it a brand, right? The fact that in a cluster, in a group of people, right, there is this particular person that is easily remembered, right? So a brand is a business with a character, with a trait, with a culture, something that people can believe in.
Yes.
Right. So I don't know if that works, so I should explain it a little bit.
Do you want to explain it a little bit? I think I can.
So if I'm to relate that to how people live, that would be what makes me different. When I walk into a space, what do I wear? How do I talk? What do I say? That people will turn their heads and be like, who is that guy?
Who that guy? Yeah.
Who that guy we just enter here? Yeah. Now, those things I do that makes me who I am are the things that make me that creates my brand. But in this case, it's brand as a person, right? So for a business, when you just want to move away from transaction, buying and selling, to something people can really remember, the goal is this. You want people to remember you. You want to be unforgettable.
Like you have done with this guy.
In my head, please. You want people to close their eyes, open it, and they still have you in mind. Even when they go somewhere else, they're like, I would have gone to this place. So that is the goal. You don't want people to forget you. So those things you do to transform your establishment or your business from buying and selling to something people will remember you for is what makes you a brand, not just a business.
Do you think that traditional businesses, Igbo people, do you think that they've done well with this thing of
yes? Yes, they have. Yes, they have. They've done pretty well. But if we take it to scale, which is to a bigger setting, I wouldn't say they've done well.
Okay.
So there are 4 parts to marketing or to any business if you want to be successful in your sales. One has to do with your cost. The other has to do with convenience. Another has to do with your customer. And then the last one is your communication. While Igbo businesses are not really big on communication, sexy branding and all those things, what I know they've done that has made them successful is they've appealed to people's convenience. So I want to get something really quick. I'm stepping out the door to this particular shop or this particular store and I'm getting what I'm getting. So they are champions in a local setting. They are winning big in a small way.
Okay.
So are they doing well? Yes, they are doing well. But if they hope to expand, if they hope to capture new market, if they hope to not just local government or have 3 shops, if they hope to capture a state or a country, they need to put in more effort. So at the level they are in now, it works. Like I said, they are just selling convenience, not necessarily having to over communicate, right? So those are the things that they are doing that, and it's really working for them. But like I said again, if they need to capture new markets, expand their business, then it's no longer convenient. It's no longer just, you get this Ide. All those Ekele Delichico and Sons, those they're not really interested in all this logo, color. They're not interested in that. Is it working for them? Yes.
It is.
It's working, but that's a small space to be in and to win in. They are winning there and it's working for them. But how sustainable is it when they decide to expand?
Okay.
So you have your small kitchen that is making about 6 soups for people, servicing about 500 people a day. It's good business. I mean, you're selling to 500 people every single day. You're doing well, right? You have 3 stores of that, 3 shops.
They feed your family.
You're feeding your family. You're paying your children's school fees. You're paying rent. You're doing well as a businessman. In fact, you're able to buy one small car, right?
And build house in
the village with that small business of cooking. But when you now want to compete with restaurants, that won't work. You now need to start sexy, fine, if there's any word like that, your brand. So you're moving away from transactional businesses, which is buy and sell, to creating a character for your brand. If you enter any First Bank hall, they will tell you, welcome to First Bank.
Welcome to First Bank.
It's the first thing the door will tell you.
I think First Bank staff were the first to call me sir.
You can imagine, I'm not even a First Bank customer, but
I went to pay my school fees in secondary school. I said, welcome, sir. I felt
like hey. Do you get? So that is not the logo. That is not color.
We'll get
to the question. So it's just let's have something people can easily remember when they leave us.
Yes.
We've done the business with them. But what happens when they leave? We still want to be here. A brand is real estate in the mind. It's a plot of land you've paid for in the mind.
Attention,
So it's here, right? If you don't have that plot of land, everybody's fighting for this plot of land, right? So once you have it, people will always remember you. So those things you do that people will say, okay, I'm giving Mr. Biggs 2 acres here, is what makes you a brand, not just a restaurant or a business.
So let's get to the logos, because if I'm not confused people a lot, right? The moment you talk about branding, the person think of letterhead, logo.
Yeah, letterhead.
This one. What exactly is what's a logo? What is they're saying that branding assets. What is branding itself? Just what are these things? Break it down for us.
Awesome.
For the layman.
Not a problem. So, like I said, the brand is the character, the culture you want to give, the personality you want to give to your business. Those things you do, the step-by-step greeting your customer, calling your customer star the moment they come into your store.
If that's what you want to do.
That's what you want to do. If it's the nylon you use to package what they came to buy, it's not just an empty black nylon, but it's a printed nylon. If it's a contract you want to send to a client, you don't just want to use a plain paper. You want them to always, like I said, it's real estate, it's plot of land. So any little opportunity you have to interact with your customer, potential or existing, you want to make sure they don't forget you. So they've seen you, hello bros, how you doing? Me to this business. You're giving them your business card. What is your business card? The name of your business. They remember you. If it's letterhead, you send contract to them. They still remember you. Anywhere possible to make sure that they never forget your business. Nylon bags. So I buy Ntachi, for example. Am I permitted to call Ntachi? I buy Ntachi, for example. Let's say there's a house party in my house, and everybody bought Ntachi. We all bought Ntachi. We didn't cook at home, and we bought about 50 packs of food. Everything all Ntachi nylon. Now, the next morning we are going to our dustbin to trash it. Do you know that if anybody passes,
just looks at the dustbin, hey, Ntachi?
Ntachi is like something happened here, like a party or something. So remember Ntachi again.
Yes.
But it's Ntachi around that area, not necessarily. It might be miles away, but just because of the nylon, right? People remember the brand. So is logo a brand or branding? No. It's like you're trying to say water is the soup.
Okay.
Or you're trying to say the tire is the car.
Yeah.
Or you're trying to say the sole of a shoe is the entire shoe. No. It's a part of it. It's essential. It's an ingredient. It's not the entire thing.
Yeah.
Right? So you want people to remember you when they see you by face, by what you wear, your hairstyle. They know who you are, even from your voice. Right? So the same way. So a logo is just a visual expression of a brand. Like you are giving your brand or your business a face, so it is recognizable in the public. Right? When people, like I said something earlier, I said we are moving from your small local community to
and you're
scale.
facing the world. Yeah.
You're facing the world. So it's a bigger space. So people need to remember you for something. So that is what the logo does for you. It makes sure that you stand out in a pool of competition or in a pool of audience. So people know, oh, this is Coca-Cola red. Oh, this is Fanta yellow. This and this is just easy.
This is Zobo red.
Zobo red. You understand? So that's what the logo does for you. So to the business letter, to business cards and all this, they are called touch points, which is places people get to interact with your business outside of the office. Right? Your billboard, there's your logo there. Your letter-headed paper, there's your logo. Your business card, there's your logo. It's so that it constantly reminds people that you are in business. And this is what you do. So anywhere they turn to, they are seeing you there.
For the 10.
And what is that doing? It's expanding the plot of land here. That's all.
You know all these things in the Southeast, it's like it's only politicians that know this thing. Because everywhere you go, you see one politician's face.
Yes.
You see another one. And they have very interesting names. Election is next year, so I don't want to mention any name in particular.
Okay.
You know.
So for politicians, first of all, I think it's safe to say that marketing is expensive. Yes. So it sort of looks like they are the only ones that can afford it. Right. But that's not the point. We'll still get to other alternatives that businesses can do. So why do politicians really take this thing really serious? Like I said, you want to be here. There was a particular paper we read some times ago, and it said that it takes an average of 12,000 times for you to master something. Right? For things like films or things that are visual, you need to see it over 500 times for you to remember it and for it to stick. Wow. So when you put a billboard at Otigba
Junction,
every single day I'm going to work, I would see that billboard. Every single day it's counting. Every single day it's counting. It gets to a point, I want to describe the junction, I would say,
oh, that yellow signboard.
Yes. Do you understand? It's
beside one in a law.
Exactly. So why politicians do this is they want to be in your face. So the moment it looks like a politician is being forgotten, they come back with the governor's face beside their face. They are thanking the governor for that talk for another day. But you get, so they understand that you can't be forgotten. Any little opportunity you have to make sure that you are remembered.
Yeah.
That's what your brand is. There are politicians that will always wear white clothes and a red cap. There are politicians that will always...
Kanayo the actor.
You get so
when you think of Kanayo, imagine now somebody is about to
exactly. So for them now, the branding that they do is personal branding. Branding can take one of 5 forms. Branding can take co-branding, which is when 2 businesses come together to achieve something.
Access
it's
and
not
diamond.
Not access
that's
and
a
diamond.
merger.
That's a merger. So we are just coming together to achieve something different.
Yes.
Right? It could be...
I remember one for that. Gala and Lacasera.
Gala and Lacasera can do that, right? But they are not even under the same producers. They are not made by the same people. So they can decide to do a particular package where if you buy 2 galas or 3 bottles of Lacasera, you get one free gala.
Okay.
You understand? Maybe they call it street something. You know, it's their best sold in traffic.
Street combo.
Exactly. So that is co-brand. They just
Ojuelegba combo.
So they just come together to produce something different. Another could be digital branding, which is for your websites, for your social media, for the internet, because people are already there. So you want to make sure that you remember there. The next one is cause branding, which is there is a social issue happening here and there, and it's something that your customers feel. It's something that they're experiencing. So it's really smart and strategic for you to key in. So when you key into those things, for example, Sorosoke, that's the NSAS, the Russia-Ukraine war, brands keyed into it.
I stand with
Ukraine, all those things. Instagram had stickers for Ukraine. Brands started using
Twitter
the
had
colors.
this thing. Twitter even gave Nigeria
the
an
Sorosoke
emoji.
An emoji for Sorosoke, you understand? So it's for, and the moment Twitter did it, you're like, Twitter did for us. So that is Twitter being remembered.
Now business will follow us protest. Then we go.
Exactly. Yes. That's the point. That is the point. So that is cost branding. Then there is personal branding, which is we want a person to be seen as a brand, not just a human being. Right? Someone would say a stick in a matchbox. Nobody wants to be a stick in a matchbox, which is the open matches, about 50 pieces. Nobody just wants to be any random one. They want to be different. So when you move away from being a stick in a matchbox to being
sweet in a
something
matchbox.
else, sweet, you get another. It's something distinct, right? That is personal branding. So we know that Tony Elimelu will always wear a red tie or a red socks. You understand? We know that Otedola will always wear a white native wear. T.Y. Bell will always wear that overflowing. Do you understand? Those are the things that we used to remember, right? So for people, right, when you want to give yourself a character, that this is you. What's his name? Big brother, what's his name? Ebuka is known to be a great dresser. He can't kill it. Caught on fresh. It's impossible. Even if he does, we've not seen it.
Even if he does, on fresh will become
even
fresh.
the on fresh self is still fresh.
If he wears boxer to Big Brother, the next day, me myself,
it becomes a style.
I will want to wear boxer.
You understand? There are influencers now pushing Crocs now. So everybody's seeing Crocs as a style because someone took up Crocs and made it part of his personal brand. And it looks so cool.
Lip gloss boy.
You get, so it's like you want to stop being a regular human being to becoming an entity that people can recognize. Michael Jackson's white socks, his hair, his shine and bling, it's unforgettable. Ever, even till after his death.
Michael Jackson died.
He's the richest.
Do you know how many years ago that man died?
He died. I'm a Michael Jackson fan. He died
I was in
13 years
JSS1
ago.
when Michael Jackson died.
He died 13 years ago. I count. I'm a Michael Jackson fan. Listen to him. So I understand. Even now, people say he's the richest dead man alive.
Come on. See doings.
He's dead.
See doings.
But he's still making money from his records and all these things. So he's the richest dead man alive. That is his brand. The dance, the kind of music, his dressing. So that tells us that a brand is not a building. A brand is not a business. A brand is not the structure or the CEO. No. A brand is the character the personality you give to a business
Yeah.
for it to stand out. What are the things you give to the personality? The same way you would change the hairstyle of a person for the person to be distinct, you give a logo. The same way you would change the shoe, you give a color.
Yeah.
The same way you would change the way he talks, or how he. There's something they say you have your fine side if you want to snap. So everybody has fine side. Everybody, just know that everybody has fine side. So there are someone like Tom Ford that I know of has his fine side. So you will never see the other side. There's a particular side you will never see in any picture online.
Really?
Ever. You would never see that side. He said in an interview, he has his fine side. This is the only side you would see.
Once you bring the camera on,
He turns. Either you see
Yes.
him face to face, or you see his side. There's a particular side you would never see. It's a ghost side. So that's another deep level of personal branding. Another deep level. So the same way you know your fine side, it's the same way you now pick the font you would use. So I can tell you I can say Coca-Cola now, you can scribble the font. It's easy.
Yeah, the
Do you understand? I can tell you, okay, let me just share a little insight to how the Coca-Cola bottle was designed. So the first idea was they wanted a bottle that could be recognized in the dark. That when people close their eyes and touch it, they know this is Coke's bottle. This could be any random cup. Not necessarily only a Afia.
This is only Afia cup. Don't do
this
that.
Could be any random cup.
Here.
But then they were like, they wanted a bottle that people could recognize either in the dark or when they close their eyes. That is why it has that shape. When you hold it,
it's like an African woman.
It's like an African woman.
It has the right colors.
It has everything. I might not be able to say the same for Pepsi. I might not be able to say the same because Pepsi, Mirinda, they all look the same.
Yes.
Right? But a Coke bottle will always be a Coke bottle. Same thing for Fanta. You understand? So they paid so much attention to the shape of the product that it became, quote unquote, an asset. Okay. So your logo is one asset, the color you decide to use another asset, the font you decide to use another asset, the shape of your packaging, the box is another asset. Okay, Netflix, before you watch any movie, you hear a particular sound. Da-dum. Do you know it has a name?
What is it?
Tadam. It's spelled T-A space D-A-M.
Oh, they
it has
have
a name.
Specific spelling.
Tadam. It has a name.
And it's registered most likely.
It's trademarked.
Come on.
Do you understand? The popular iPhone ringtone is trademarked. Once you hear it ring anywhere.
No.
Exactly. You know that there's an iPhone user here. The for Nokia, those people shaking their hands and then that sound it makes. So that is called sonic branding your sound. That's another level entirely. Right? That is another level entirely. Let's not even go there. We can't wrap that up. But so you know that it's not just the logo. You are just, what you are doing is you are finding new opportunities to make sure that you are remembered. Even when you're not inside a room, once you hear that tadam, you know someone is watching Netflix. You don't have to see the N. So you've taken away N. You've taken away Netflix. But so just from the sound,
just
you know
even if you are passing the main road,
once you are passing here, once you hear Nokia phone ring, you know someone using a Nokia phone. You don't need to see the phone. You don't need to see Nokia. You don't need to see the color. You don't need to see the font. Nothing. Yes. Just from the sound it makes, you know there's a Nokia phone. So there are so many aspects to this thing. So many. We can't wrap this up. But what we can do is learn about it for people that can't afford.
I was going to get to that. Small businesses that hustle must hustle.
Yes. You said it looks like politicians are the only ones that can afford it. And I said, yes, it's actually very expensive. So when I don't have the money for it, what do I do? First thing is you need to start. You need to know that you have to start small. There are 3 major currencies that we spend in life. Major things that we spend in life. One is our time. Another is our money. And the last one is the knowledge. Anyone you need, you combine the other two to get.
So A plus B equal to C.
Anyone you need, you combine the other two and you get it. if you need more time, that means you have to pay somebody something. So it could be your laundry guy.
Yeah.
First of all, you use time to wash clothes, but now you are paying somebody to wash the clothes for you. So you've bought time. You're not doing it yourself. You bought time, right? Now, what are the two things? You've paid money to the guy, and you're knowledgeable to know that this person will do my. Do you understand? So,
or you've researched
exactly the best laundry guy. So your knowledge about laundry services and your knowledge about who the best laundry guy is, plus the money available, has bought you time. If you need money, you get a job. How does that explain itself? You have the time to give, and you have the knowledge to give. So when you combine those two, you have money.
You have money.
Do you understand? So whatever thing you need, out of those three, you combine the other two. So for businesses that don't have the money to learn this thing, to pay for this thing, that means they need to invest in their knowledge and in their time. They need to spend those two things.
Yes.
They need to do it themselves. I can't afford, but I'm going to learn it. So there are courses you can take on marketing, courses you can take on branding. And what I'm saying courses is, businesses really have to be intentional about what they're doing, right?
Yes.
So it's no longer, hey, I sabi cook. My soup tastes well. What extra special effects or experience are you adding to your product?
Buy my market.
It's not buy your market. It's no longer buy your market. You must. If you beg people to buy your stuff, that means you're not actually selling to them. You're just being pathetic, for the lack of a better word. You are begging people to buy from you.
Why?
No. Yes, if you're to be honest, there are people on WhatsApp that say, I beg, buy from me. Don't be sympathetic. Give me something that
I don't care.
So it's one of two things. Can I afford it? Yes, give me. Do I like it? Yes, give me. Is it too expensive? Yes, I can afford it. I go somewhere else. It's simple. Not telling me, please now. Then come on. I will buy out of pity and not use. To be honest,
and even if you're doing great stuff, I won't even take you serious. I won't take you serious.
And people think there's a point you get to you stop marketing and advertising your product. Companies are still running campaigns. MTN just changed logo.
YouTube
is still advertising on YouTube. Netflix is still running campaigns. So if these big guys know that
even
they
WhatsApp,
need to, even WhatsApp are running
downloaded
ads.
app on Earth.
When I checked WhatsApp at the time, I saw over 5 billion downloads. Which other ads are you running? We are 7 billion in this life.
5 billion.
You are 5 billion plus.
How many children and old people and
so how? But they are still running ads. Google, the number one search engine in this world, is still running Google ads. So if these people can do it, you think you would say it once and that's it. They'll come and buy from you. But they are not. Google is not begging you to buy. They've built a product. They know what the product can do, and they tell you what the product can do. You. And they keep reminding you what the product can do. Finish. They're not telling you, we have salary to pay. Please use. Please come on. We have salaries to pay.
Download our
app now. No, they're not telling you that. They are making sure that the search engine is not hanging. It's giving the best results possible, and you're using it. Right? They're not over-promising. They're making sure you are getting the right experience. Same thing for laptops. Imagine you can't even hear come and buy HP.
Come and buy HP.
No. They've given you a product. So, and they've communicated what the product can do to you, do for you. Right? So those are the things. It's not, don't come and beg me to buy. Give me something great. It's one of two things. Can I afford it? Yes, I buy. Do I need it? So for small businesses, they need to take out time to see how they can improve their product, learn marketing.
If you can't afford it, learn it.
If you can't afford it, you will do it yourself. It doesn't have to be perfect, but start from somewhere. In the end, when you have the money now to outsource to an agency, you outsource to an agency, but make sure you know your why, so that another agency does not come and tell you how to do business. You know your why, you know your reason, you have your values, you are communicating to them. It's easier for them to work with. Before they give you,
we just said,
you understand?
Is it chimpanzee at the rate of monkey or something like that?
So yeah, that's it. Honestly, we can't wrap up these things in one day, but we can keep talking about this to make sure that everybody hears about it and they put in the work. We want Eastern businesses to always be on the map, and they need to put in this